We are Aigars&Krista, an action-crazy Latvian couple who took on this monster project to restore an old truck. To hear our full story, click on this video. Welcome to episode 6 of our truck build series.
Hey yo, what's up? Before the wing goes back on, it needs patching up. But let me tell you, this patch is gonna be massive. So if I repair it, it's gonna be grandioso. But if I don't, then it's gonna be a massive failure. So I might as well film it and show you what it's like.
Estás bem, Glebby?
Just look at all this cheese. So I started to lay out the foundations here just to understand how big the patch is. I drilled test holes and yeah, it's going through. So let me just slap my hand on so you see how big is the patch. And it's multiple angles. It goes like that. There's grooves in there. It goes like that. It just goes everywhere. And then there is this guy that needs to go on. And then the light housing also needs fixing. The whole thing needs coming out. And there's some cheese here. And then this whole bottom lip needs to come off. I can't see this going well, being such a big patch, and with the tools I have. The patch, guys. So, first job to get the groove on. This little challenge here. We're looking at 4 mils roughly. What do we have here? Same. So, it looks nice in picture, right? But does it fit? Okay, slapping it on, you're my witness. First go. It doesn't look too bad. In fact, it looks almost perfect. Now to challenge number 2. So this side needs to come down a bit, but overall it needs to curve. And the problem is now the groove that I pressed in that looks so nice will prevent it to actually go and bend this way. Because remember what the grooves do? They add strength to this panel. Gonna try to use the metal brake and just force it little by little. If I'm gonna put too much force in it, there will be a line. And I don't want to have a line, I just want a solid curve. Just need to be really patient here. I know you're just looking there, I wanna just crank it boy. Whoa, wow. Well, this is not a major experiment, but I mean, this is what can a guy do without many tools. And with bead roller, you know, we get the grooves, and with the metal brake, we can slowly add a bit of shape in. And overall, look at the panel. It's not deforming. And we're getting somewhere. But now we have another little challenge, which is here. You can see the grooves are actually deeper on this side. So this Mercedes press form is 4 mil here, and then they get gradually deeper here. So what I'll try to use the bead roller, but I'm gonna switch from 4 mil to bigger grooves. Just gonna try to feed it in till about there. Alright, success at least, it looks like success. And one thing I don't like about this bead roller is, if you can see, it creates this like a wavy pattern. So yes, we have the groove in here, but then this bit is not straight. How do I fix that? A quick tip for you guys and gals, so that you see it's not just all successful stories, but there's failures. So I flip these beads around so that actually I have flat against flat. And that allows me to run this bit through, and that straightens that little wave out. Look, it's there. And now one last challenge. I need to bend this corner over. If I wedge it in, okay, the grinders without guards are out and we are cutting. Might need a new wing after this. Cheese is out. I skipped the whole boring fitting the patch in. Probably would have been interesting, but I spent like, I don't know, 4 hours of like boom, boom, bam, bam, pss, 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 beam, beam, and yeah, just that footage is bloody boring. But look at this, it's in. Oh man, I couldn't be more proud about this. It's all tacked in and it's fitting like a glove, gosh. Still need to weld it in. But look how these, oh, it's matching. It's one piece. I didn't cut it anywhere. Like previously I was making lots of cuts to do this. And emotions are definitely through the roof. I mean, I've got some skills, but in reality I don't have skills. And to get this in, Heinzie would be proud, like fucking proud. Look at that, it's in. And then I did a little small one here. Had to do some cuts, otherwise it didn't fit. And still need to grind off the pigeon poop. And there will be some tapping and banging there, because when I made the patch, it was nice and flowy round, I mean. But once you weld it in, it goes flat, because why? It starts to stretch. Yeah. The tapping and banging stage is here. It probably will be boring, but it will give you the idea. And I have never showed you this, so I'll show you once and then I won't show you that anymore. Why this is needed. So this is the shape of this lovely wing as lovely Germans made it. And you can see it's swivelly, swivelly, swivelly. And that's what it's supposed to be, yeah? And then this is my patch here. It's not like this, but it's opposite. It's like this. Now we're gonna need to put some sort of metal behind, and we're gonna need to tap this weld seam. And what that will do, it will release the pressure. It will actually stretch back out these seams, and hopefully we should get back a bow sort of a action going. Is it gonna happen? I don't know, but it will get definitely better. What we're using here is my lovely old hammer that's seen better days, but it's nice and round and it helps me to bash some good things in, and it doesn't have sharp edges, meaning I can just tap it and it will not leave dents in it. My rubber friend, my wooden friend, and just a hammer, and then this thing here. Once we start the process, we can put some color on it with a Sharpie and then sand it a bit and see, you know, the bits that stay in, they will be in, and the bits that stand out will be out. Let's start the process. How to use this is now a good way, and I will be using it to my best of abilities. So I'm just testing the sound. If it sounds like a tin, then you're not in the right place. And if it sounds like ding ding, you're banging against like a church bell, then it means you got solid back. The thing is, you can obviously bang this to perfection, you know, for the rest of the life. But at one point you're just gonna have to call it in, and if you want to please yourself, lower your standards. I just want to avoid to put a lot of filler on, but there will be filler anyways. And what I just did, 15-20 minutes banging it out, it will be less filler on, and less filler is less cracks. But it's definitely looking a lot better than what it was. Just a bit here. You can see there's no gap now. Will I bother? I don't think so. I'm just gonna call it, you know, filler will do the rest. Plan is to cut this one out and make it as successful as the rest. Wanna witness it? It's been sandblasted and it looks all so nice, like literally there's nothing wrong with it, but it's actually really thin. So I did some test drills and the drill just goes in like in butter. So there is a patch needed there. It all starts with the paper. From the paper it goes to metal. I made these little guys. They'll help me to keep the template in. Because previously I used a bunch of different spacers, but it was a pain in the ass to use them. But these here, I can just do it like this. So what it does, it keeps a 1 mil gap, well 0.8 to be exact. Because I'm a gap welder. There we go, it's holding in place without magnets, with a nice little gap all around the edge. And most importantly, it's flush, so I can start tacking it in. Ever end up like this, scratching your head when your patch doesn't fit? You made a perfect patch, you tack it in, and it somehow doesn't fit anymore. Well, I learned a little secret. When you make your first tacks, make sure you bang them out after. And when I mean bang him out, is put some metal behind and then bang it, and that releases the pressure from these welds, because each of these tacks actually shrinks it back together. This top bit here, once I tacked it in, it disappeared completely. Previously I would just cut it and then I would weld again, and then something else wouldn't fit, then I would cut it, and in the end the whole thing would just basically lose the shape. Checking in at the mental institution here. One more patch is in and is looking nice. It's all welded in, it's all ground off, it's all tapped and banged out, and it's actually turned out quite nice. It's still flowing, it hasn't lost its shape, and I'm quite pleased with it. So on to the next one, which is gonna be this bottom lip here, because it's all with a bit of cheese, as you can see. Onto the sausage machine. The lip is in, and it's nice. Da 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 da. Shiny, shiny. And now to the interesting part. We're gonna do the eye now. I've got the templates and a test piece left over from the other wing, which I was gonna use. But the challenge is that this repair needed goes beyond these templates and it extends past. So I've got to make a bigger patch so that I can actually sink it in. And this way I would preserve these nice corners. So many things going on to get it out of one piece. It's a challenge. So to get it straight onto this, there's definitely place for failure. So as always, a good part of the time goes into making a test piece before I ruin my nice material. Drum roll, look at this! Okay, it's a lot thinner metal though. Not a lot, but still it's thinner metal. And I managed to do the whole lot. And to show you, it fits. Ta-da! Got the shape around, it kind of fits. We've got the sausage grooves pressed in, both sides, and they match. And we've got the actual light inset pressed in as well. And to add to that, there is a terrible holy hole on there. And I left a little stripe on there and then bent it round on a table. And actually we got that. So many things going on. And why do we have these holes here? That's from the press form so that I can clamp it in. So with a successful test piece, need to get all serious and move on to making the real one. Onto the sausage machine, folks. We need to press the grooves in, and one thing I did learn about this fabulous machine is you need to pre-stretch the places where you need to press the grooves in. Otherwise, if you're just going to go straight to the dies and press them in, this thing is just going to go. You can see the light how it's going. But that's good, because that's the place where the grooves will be pressed in. There's plenty of tips and tricks how to use the bead roller on YouTube, so I'm not going to bore you with them. So I suggest you to check them out. But this thing is quite impressive, but not straight out of the box. So yeah, you need to tune it a little, strengthen it, and also learn how to use it a bit. The real deal now. Now you've got to be careful, because there's no way going back now. Now you want to keep it nice and straight. Sausages are in, and the sausage machine does a great job, but one thing it doesn't do, it doesn't finish them off nicely. They're all kind of faded out, and also it deforms the panel at that point a little there. So how to get them nice like this, nice and round. This is my technique. Got an old broken wrench, but it's got this round edge here, and it's nice and smooth as well. So what I'll do is I'll pop it there and just follow the round outline. You know, a bit of art. Look at this. Marvelous. everything is going quite well so far. Successful, everything's matching. But the last challenge, the panel is absolutely straight. But Heinz's figure is not straight. So we need to get this guy to play ball with us. Which means we need to now bow this thing with all these fancy grooves and everything without destroying the last piece of this amazingness. And to do so, we're going to use the metal brake ever so slightly, just like touchy, because too much force will just have like sharp edges in it and stuff. Even if nothing happens, it's better than nothing happens than too much happens. Fuck, it's already coming out like a banana on the other end. I'm not doing anything really, look. Jesus, man. Just gonna run it through and then we'll see how it looks. It worked, guys, check it out. Can't see much on the table, but look, if you flip it upside down, it has a slide bow and that's all we need. And as we slap it on the actual workpiece, look at that. You can see here how it's actually following the same outline. Before it was more like this. Now, happy days. So all what's left now is to just rust it and cut it out. Toca nippels, no? Pagaid. Tagad ir liels gaps ap divu metālu jaunu, vienkārši pie viena uztais. Alright, as you probably did guess, the engine is out and look at this playground. Big hall of access now. What? This is amazing. This will allow us to repair this lip all around and most importantly, this problem guy here. So, access from all sides, engine gone. Now we can stud it up, rip it out, get it new and then carry on as planned to rebuild this corner. Also got all these nice parts here to clean up, all the engine mounts, also gives us access to these round guys, so these are engine mounts as well. So the engine is actually hanging in these, and as we can see, these have deteriorated completely, so they're just crumbling away. So these are big rubber discs, which we can order in and get them replaced. And hopefully that will resolve some vibration issues in the cab. Here it is in its pride and glory. It's beyond recognition. Welcome to National Geographic. There's supposed to be a bracket inside that holds this block to this nice little flower ship or bed, whatever it is. But once the bracket is out, I can make it. So the bracket is out. I just need to I actually found bolts inside and some resemblance of a bracket. A change is coming, and when I say change, I mean this. We've moved! We are in a new place, and let me show you around our new little garage. It looks like a junkyard, and there's lots of other projects laying around. Anyways, the space suited us. It's closer to home, and it's closer in all sorts of ways. It looks like a massive greenhouse, and inside is where the magic happens. Ta-da! We fixed some lights, fixed some floor, and we built a little mini workshop at the back. And then this is it, basically. So that's with the change. And now let's crack on with the project. We left you at this lovely spot. Remember the holy hole? Now it's an even bigger hole. The part is gone, everything's nicely cleaned off. The top bar's cleaned and we're ready to put the new part in, which has arrived. My good mate has made one and it looks amazing. Behind me on the table here, yeah, look, this is the old flower pot, as we call it. So here is same stuff, I just need to play puzzle. Professionally made, a replica. It's amazing to find people that can do custom jobbies like this, because all these small jobs usually take the most time. And also a bracket which mounts on the bottom. So this here is gonna be recreated like that. And then a couple of nuts in there. I've got new bolts that go in there. And then this bracket needs to be welded inside there as well. So all sounds easy, but is it gonna be? The downside is I only have one of this. If I fuck it up, then I don't have another one and I need to go to my mate and ask him to make me one. But he already said, tough guy, tough guy. I was worried that this is rotting inside, and it probably is, but it doesn't look too bad. Anyways, the challenge was to get that silent pad out, the old one. They look like this. All the rubber inside was completely gone. And I ordered a nice pair. Here they are. And to get them in, it's easy. You just slap a couple of bolts on them. But as any easy job is as easy as getting the old bolts out, which is never easy. So here we go. And now the playground is clear. Once I weld it up, it will mount here. But yeah, I need to get the measures exactly right. Otherwise, the truck will tilt. One side is going to be higher than the other one. That sits on the chassis. And what I just did was the bracket. Looks like this. Bracket sits on the silent block. Bolts in there. Now I have the fun part of putting this together. 1:30 in the morning. It's done. And it's going down here. The front of the truck is sitting on this one jack. And the whole truck is unbolted from the chassis, and the whole front will lift up, and that will allow me to put that flower pot in there. But if this doesn't go well, then thank you all for watching. Thanks honey for loving me, I hope so. Fuck knows what happened there. Anyways, if this doesn't go well, then the truck falls off the chassis, maybe on my head. So yes, thank you all for watching, and sayonara. We're gonna jack it up, the truck's gonna go up, and then that will allow me to push the part in. It needs to go on these bolts here, so this block needs to sit here basically. That will allow me to position it in place, and then we're gonna lower the truck back down, and that should hopefully sink into this groove. As a reference, this is what we're doing. So yeah, here it is. Pad is here, the holes are there, that's all hunky-dory. You are in the best seats in the house for this one. This could go wrong. Fuck it. Studs are out. Should I be under the truck for this one? Slap the bolts in quick. Okay, now I'm gonna let the truck go down, and if this doesn't work, then I'm not gonna have a nice evening. It's working! Best day ever. Not even being sarcastic, it's all going so well. But I'm welding it all up and I can't wait to go home. If this is not a reason to celebrate, then what is? We're starting to put some stuff back on the truck, as in this side here the panels need to go on. But as you can see, this black crap here, it's acid doing its thing, supposedly. Not doing anything really. It's paper thin. I can't leave that in there. Enthusiasm is high because more is coming off from the truck and less is going on. That needs to be recreated and that needs to be patched up. Time has come to make my most complex piece. Got no time to film, brother. But here's some cab floor for ya, brother. Shakada bang, bang, bang. Look at this cheese in the house, yo. I was gonna leave this in, but then I cut it out. I thought this is gonna be okay, but then I had to make it new. And then went down here where Heinzie was only putting his feet, and now I'm putting my face and my thoughts. Heinzie, very wet feet, brother. Clearly. Okay, sayonara, no time to film because I've got to make new. Hola. First piece of the puzzle is done. Oh no. And who else is in the garage?